With Edo State gearing up for its governorship elections this year, it has been nothing short of drama within the ruling People's Democratic Party. Last year, we witnessed frictions between the governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy, Philip Shaibu. But the dust seems to have settled. The Edo State Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, formally declared his intention to contest the 2024 governorship election in Edo State under the banner of the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, in November last year. Describing himself as 100% homeboy, an allusion to the clamor that the next governor of the state must be someone who knows the state very well and not someone imported. A veiled reference to the touted candidate of Governor Obaseki, Shaibu hinged his campaign on 5 pillars of infrastructural development, economic diversification, education, and sports. Others are skills development and job creation, healthcare, social welfare system, agriculture, rural development, poverty alleviation, environmental sustainability, and transparent governance. He said while working closely with Governor Godwin Obaseki in the past 7 years, a solid foundation for progress had been laid in the state. Joining us on the show this morning to discuss his governorship ambition and plans for the people of Edo State if he emerges victorious is Philip Shaibu, Deputy Governor of Edo State. Good morning, Deputy Governor.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us in the studio.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I know you still talk about your plans for Edo State people, right? We've played the video of when you declared. We've listed some of the plans. But let's start with the big elephant in the room. The people who don't want you to be a governor in November are saying that by November 2024, you will have spent 8 years as deputy governor. And that before now, the former governor, Adams Oshiomhole, now senator, spent 8 years. And that the thing is that both of you are from Edo North. Oshiomhole from Edo North, 8 years. Philip Shaibu from Edo North, 8 years. Not just from Edo North, from the same local government, from the same federal constituency, from, in fact, some say from the same family. That there is no difference between the two of you. And that this is why, in 2016, when you were chosen as the running mate to Obaseki, people protested. And that now, after spending 8 years, another person from the same local government, same federal constituency, wants to be governor again. So that Edo State people would have more than 16 years of people from the same local government, from the same family running Edo State. This is the big elephant in the room. Now, some people have now argued to say, okay, even if Edo North can still have a slot at the governorship of Edo State, it must not be only from the same town, the same village, the same local government. It can go to other places in Edo North. After all, you have Akoko Edo in Edo North. After all, you have the 201s, East 01, West 01. Must it be from the same Oshiomhole compound? This is the big elephant in the room. What do you have to say?
Well, I want to thank you for having me in the studio. It's interesting. First, actually, I was persuaded, and there was no protest. Actually, I didn't want to be deputy governor. I was very comfortable in House of Representative. I was persuaded. It took almost 1 month to get me to accept to be the deputy governor of Edo State. And there was no protest. It was persuasion. And my supporters and others said, look, you have to be there. And I accepted. Why? To add value to the ticket of Obaseki, because Obaseki was not known and he was not one of the politicians. So they needed a young, vibrant politician that has won election before and that can add political value and to the ticket. So I was actually persuaded to do. And the issues of whether I'm from Edo, Edo North, Oshiomhole, clean and everything, I think it's just an imagination of the governor and his team. And they are pushing it just to have his partner to be the governor of Edo State. And that will not work. The people on ground, I'm a street person. And when I mean I'm a street person, I'm a really street person. When you go deep down to check the feelings of the people. They need somebody that they know, somebody they can touch, somebody that is with them. And if I must use the governors and his team word, they need somebody that is with them in the pepper soup joint. But they are now struggling to be in the pepper soup joint, and they cannot be there. And the pepper soup joint thing is that somebody that they can see, somebody they can feel. And I represent that person that they can feel. And that's what Edo people are yearning for now. Edo people don't want to experiment again. And one thing we should know, Edo election, we have midterm election. Any governor that is coming in have the first 1 year and the third year to work. Because if you don't start your program from day one, as you are going to the second year, you are preparing for national election. And as the national election is over, you are preparing for either your second term or for another governorship election. So Edo State don't have time to experiment. We've experimented with Governor Godwin Obaseki. And some of us have to go extra mile to cover the gaps. People are saying Shaibu is one popular deputy governor. I only have 2 portfolios in government, but I have to be filling the gaps because I am close to the people. I know what they feel. And so coming in from Esako, from Uzare, Shomole is from Ward 10 and from Ward 11, it's not the real issue. The real issue is what value am I bringing in? And if we want to talk about zoning and agenda, the real agenda is that Edo North has never been given ticket to contest for governorship of Edo State by the People's Democratic Party. And so when we go into the equity and fairness that the governor is sponsoring, that equity and fairness seems to favor PDP giving the ticket to Philip Shaibu. There are 2 of us that have come out from Edo North, Philip Shaibu and Ambassador Balogun. Ambassador Balogun is from Mesako East, I am from Mesako West. Nobody has come out from Onwa West, Onwa East, or Akoko Edo. So you can't force people to come and contest an election when they are not interested. So if any other person have come out from the other zone, of course the people will choose who they want. But I can tell you that the governorship of Edo State next year will not want an outsider. And the governor is trying to bring an outsider. And we will resist it. My contesting this election is not because just for the fluke. The people are interested in it, and that is why anywhere I go, you can see the organic support. My support is not procured, just the way the governor is wasting taxpayers' money to procure support for his candidate. So
from what I can hear, Deputy Governor, the relationship between you and the governor is totally broken down. There's a breakdown in your relationship, and I can hear that. There are 2 things I want to ask you, because from what you say, from the very beginning, it seemed as if you were introduced to Governor Obaseki's campaign to help his campaign because you were more popular. Yes. Do you consider this a betrayal? Because I'm sure there must have been some sort of agreement for you to have taken on that role. For you, maybe 8 years down the line, he would then support your ambition to be governor. So do you consider that a betrayal? So then the second question very quickly is because in addition to the governor supporting and Mr. Igodalo, I'm sure, Asu Igodalo, the members of Edo North, led by Chief Mike Ogiadome, have also endorsed him. They had a meeting at Chief Ogiadome, who was the former deputy governor of Edo State House in Fuga, and they anointed him as their preferred candidate. That must surely hurt your campaign. And how does that make you feel, knowing that at least people that you must have worked with, whom you perhaps assumed were going to support you in your bid to becoming governor, have now put their weight behind the man that the governor is supporting?
Yeah, I think let me start from the second question. Chief Michael Ogiadome is a leader I respect so much, and we've had an encounter in 2023 where he has to use the government office of the deputy governor machinery to come and rig election in my ward, and it was resisted by the people. Yeah, and we joined PDP, mutual Reverend Father tried to reconcile us. So Ogiadome is somebody that I respect very well. But the meeting that took place in his house is just a meeting of him and some leaders and senior special assistants of the governor and special advisor. There's no party man, party executive that were in that meeting. No, the senatorial chairman is the one that ought to call for such a meeting. And I, as the deputy governor, in quote, the leader in Edo North, by my virtue of being the deputy governor, must sanction such meeting. So the meeting was called at the instance of former deputy governor. He knows that what he has done obviously offends the office. It's just an aberration, and it's leadership, an elder trying to provoke the anger of the people. And that's why I told all my supporters not to be provoked. We should be focused. Let's face what it is. So what he has done is null and void and doesn't have any consequence. And when you look at that table, all of them that are sitting at that table, for the past 4 elections, they've not won their unit or ward, including Michael Gadobe. So how does it add value to PDP? It doesn't add value to PDP in terms of the party. It doesn't add value to PDP in terms of general election, because Chief Ogiadome, former deputy governor, former deputy chief of staff, former chief of staff to the president, for the past 3 elections, he has not won his unit and ward in general election. So it doesn't have any value. But it just gives them that feeling that just to create this media hype, somebody is being supported. But that we that are playing the practical politics knows that they have no consequences, are not offended my campaign. But the
first question, a betrayal.
I feel betrayed by the governor. I feel very betrayed. Not just being betrayed. You see, when we go to church, there are certain biblical verses that is becoming to make meaning to me. There's this particular verse that I've been going through my mind since this incident started, especially the last one that just happened again, coming to Auchi Day first today. The heart of man is desperately wicked. So when I see what the governor is doing and relate it to what the verses of the Bible say, it's now making meaning to me. Because I added value in terms of my political structure, in terms of finances, in all the vehicles that were used to campaign in 2016 are mine. I added value for the second term. The second term, my not political father. Shomole is not my political father. But Shomole is like a father to me because of a long-term relationship. I grew up to see him as my father. But we came into politics in Edo to fight godfatherism. And according to him, we needed to free resources that are being used to service Godfather for us to be able to develop our state. And actually, when we fought those Godfathers, frankly speaking, the money was free to do development. And that's why we now have Red Roof and all those stuff. So I bought into it. So this time, when he now wants to be Godfather, because when we're fighting Godfather, we didn't say he has to be X and X. And I saw that the governor was to be oppressed, for him to be disqualified in that manner. And for me, I hate oppression. We had to put in again. I staked my relationship. That relationship, I lost about 20% of my political capital in Edo North to support Godwin Obaseki. And in supporting him, even as deputy governor that did not have any line financially, through my friends and others, I supported the second term bid of the governor with my structure, all my vehicles, with finances, including how we got the ticket of PDP. I contributed financially, both in naira and in dollars. And I discovered I was even duped. You know, sir, so if I say betrayal, it's an understatement. I feel very hurt and betrayed. But what is most important is that the switch, it's not like you put off light and put on light. There was no, I've sacrificed even my personal earning, even my entitlement, just to have the system work. Because I came into politics not for myself. It is to fix the system. I'm coming from a background of fighting government to do what is right. As former president of NANS. So I'm in the system to show that those, we know a great thing we were doing, fighting government to have an egalitarian society is possible.
Okay.
So that's why I brought in. Okay. And that's the value I'm still bringing in as a governor of the Edo State.
But the argument from Obaseki's camp is this, that you betrayed him. That this was not supposed to be. Your ambition and all of this fight and breakbacks, that you betrayed him. The argument a lot of people have against you is the fact that you betrayed Oshomole, your father. So you have also betrayed a lot of people. And going back to the Bible, like you were quoting, the heart of man is desperately wicked, who can fathom it and all of that. The Bible also says, do unto others what you want done unto you. But a lot of your critics are saying, you too have not done unto others what they want done unto you. They claim betrayal. Secondly, they say this your ambition too is betraying the hopes and aspirations of the Edo Central people. Where Asue Godalo, the big elephant is the room, I'm sure it's the one that you are saying we don't want foreigners in town. But they are saying since the time of the botched administration of Professor Sarame Osumbo, which is also, I hear, is also trying to run in this race, that they've had nothing in Central. That what do you want them to do? People are also saying that you don't even have your leg firmly rooted in Edo North. That you struggle to win elections there and all of that. So these are all the things they have against you. They call you a betrayal too. That's the position of Obaseki, and he constantly says it. He calls you a betrayer. And I don't know, you guys have tried settling your fight, but it's not happening again. That's why I want to ask, did he make a promise to you that he was going to give you governor when he leaves?
There was no formal discussion on who becomes the governor after Obaseki.
So he didn't promise you
There
anything?
was no formal discussion on that. There was no formal discussion on that. What betraying? Well, if anybody says I betray Shomole, then the person is not correct. Why it's not correct is that anybody that see how we started, we did a rally that Babangida was even present, where we said no to Godfatherism, one man, one vote, one Philip Shaibu, one vote, one Shomole, one vote. And we all came with that matter, no to Godfatherism. So if we agree as a group to say we will fight Godfathers, so anybody that come out, even if Philip Shaibu try to be Godfather, it should be crushed. Even the governor, to tell you that, even the governor in 2020, he came out publicly to say we came on the platform to rescue Edo State and to fight Godfatherism. And that even he, as governor, if he attempts to be a Godfather, it should be dealt with. So if you are talking about betrayal, there's no betrayal there because it's what we all agreed. Oshomole and I and Obaseki, all of us in that rescue team in 2006, 2007, all agreed that we will come and rescue and take government back to the people. So if I, as Philip Shaibu, keep to that agreement to fight Godfather, whether it's Obaseki, whether it's Oshomole, whether it's me, we should fight against Godfather.
Oshomole made you.
No.
Your deputy governor today,
no.
Oshomole had a hand in it.
Yes.
And you now betrayed that same man. And you're not calling him betrayer.
No.
This same Obaseki was the man that fought tooth and nail with the PDP when they said they should drop you as part of the ticket. He fought everything for you to get you on the ticket. Yeah. But now they say you are betraying him.
Okay, Oshomole did not make me. No.
Who influenced you being deputy governor?
Yes, he was one of them. But in terms of political, he didn't make me.
Okay.
I was former president of NANS. I grew from the rank. From class rep to welfare secretary of Student Union, University of Georgia, to the coordinator of Abacha Must Go in this country for 2-3 years. While Kanu was doing man march in Abuja, I was doing anti-Abacha with Ganifa Ami and Beko Rasokuti here, where I was arrested in Yaba and taken to Gusha prison. So I have my history. I became member of Edo State House of Assembly before Oshomole became governor. I organized the first political meeting for Comrade Adan Sali Oshomole. I organized it. I created 2 groups, Oshomole Youth Alliance from the Student Union Group and People's Movement for Oshomole. Those were movement I created to usher in Oshomole to be governor. He wanted to continue his career as ILO in ILO. But I got Shagade and others to tell him to come and contest for governor, because at that time we needed somebody and he accepted. So in terms of who was in politics first, I worked for all of them. So in terms of for Shomole to be governor, I created the first major structure, the second major structure from the Youth Alliance. For Obaseki to be governor, I was drafted to give the ticket life. So if we must talk about betrayal now, I think it's the governor.
Okay, real quick.
Not me.
Because we need to go because of time. I want you to campaign to the people of Edo Central that think it's supposed to be their turn now, but you from Edo North wants to take the reins as against their turn. What will you say to Edo Central people as they're watching?
I don't think it's an Edo Central and Edo North thing. It just is those that don't have the charisma and the character to sell themselves that play ethnic and religious politics. For Edo Central, they've had it twice. Edo North have only gotten it once. Edo South have gotten it 4 times. And I'm just told you, PDP has never given any ticket to Edo North person. So for Edo Central... Yep.
Some of your critics say you enjoy fighting people. That you fought Oshomole, you are fighting Obaseki, and yet you want this ticket. But for you to get this ticket, you have to go through the primaries within the party. Yeah. And now you are saying the governor is supporting an outsider. Yeah. Who is that outsider? Could it be Asue Ighodalo, who is from Ewohime in Edo State, who is also from Edo State, right?
Yes.
Will you call him somebody from Edo State? And I say, he's not from Oyo State, he's from Edo State. And he's been captain of industry, chairman this, chairman that, distinguished lawyer. Yeah. So is he that outsider that you are talking about? Because you have said they want to bring an outsider. We will resist it. Yeah. How are you going to resist it? Yeah. You will go to court. And then, secondly, this Godwin Obaseki, he is on record as being the governor who has signed the highest number of MOUs. You can also take credit for that because it's a joint ticket. So what else do you want to do that will be different from his own? So what is that new thing? Are you saying that Obaseki has failed and that you are the person who can come and do something different? What exactly is in that unfinished business in that Osadebe house?
Yeah, there is a lot of things that we need to deal with. I just told you infrastructure need to drive everything we want to do in the state. Majorly, if you check our growth, it has increased, but at slow pace. And some of the indices that shows that we can do better is to massively face infrastructure, road infrastructure especially, and electricity. We've done some part in terms of electricity. We now have Osiomo power plant. But in terms of transportation, the roads are very, very bad, especially the federal roads. When I become the governor, I will deal with issues of federal roads by creating the old road. We are going to build rail tracks on the old roads. And when the feasibility study for the rail tracks is almost done. In another 1 week, I will show the blueprint of what I want to do. We'll call it Orange Line. Orange Line will be between Oredo, Ipoboha, and Ego. And we'll be having the main line, which we christen Oredo Opela train station. I am bringing that. And there's a lot of traffic in the state. From Limit Junction, we're going to be having an overhead bridge. From Adeswa Junction, we're going to be having an overhead bridge. From 3rd and 2nd is Secular, we're going to be having an overhead bridge, and Rama Park. And from Okpoji Junction in the Edo Central, we're going to be having an overhead. Then by Jetu and Aochi, where a lot of lives have been lost, we are going to be having another overhead track. You need movement of goods and services to be able to grow your GDP. Because when the whole city is locked down, obviously time wasted is there. So, and industrial park is there. Nothing has actually significantly has happened. I am going to put life into the industrial park. These are projects that we are all agreeing. I'm going to be creating over 20 to 30,000 jobs from sports alone. And I'm going to, agriculture will have a face. I'm going to be having cluster of cash crops in various areas. And I'm going to work with federal government and CBN to introduce an agricultural bank. And we are already working on incentive that we can showcase to our younger generation, because the youths are not interested in farming. So we're already looking for incentive that can attract these young men and women into farming. And I know that the major problem we have in this country is we are not able to satisfy the consumption of our people. For instance, Ewo flour mill is there. We should have a cluster of farms that we've just produced grain for Ewo flour mill. As we speak, I've been there 3-4 times. Thanks for Pastor Chris for reviving Ewo flour mill. I've been there 3-4 times because I'm interested in what is happening there, because the company was down for a long time and Pastor Chris took it over and is working. But I discovered that the demand of those products is so huge, they are not able to meet up. They are not even able to get grains to meet up those demands. So the entire hub of Ewu, Agbede, axis should be a cluster of where grains are grown. So there are a lot of these economic programs that we need to now upscale. And that is why I'm coming. And don't forget, when we say we don't want an outsider now, it's not Philip Shaibu, it's Edo people that is saying so. And I am coming in from day one to hit the ground running, because I am bringing experience, I'm bringing knowledge of government.
These outsiders? Is it Ashe Gudalu who I mentioned?
Yes.
Or members of the legacy group within your party led by Dan Obi? Are there outsiders there too?
No, the word outsider, they need somebody they can feel. Because today, not that we have failed in terms of infrastructure, in terms of economic growth. I just told you there's significant growth economic-wise. At least we grow our economy to about 2.6 trillion naira. And we have had that marginal growth in our economy, and we restructure a lot of things. We are saying that beyond that, we need somebody that have empathy. We need somebody that have human face. We don't need somebody that is all about fight. You say I fight. I fight for justice. I fight for things that I know the kind of fight. If you check my background from student unionism, I fight for an egalitarian society. I hate oppression. And when you hear Philip fighting, check, there must be content in what he's fighting for. And as we speak today, I am not fighting the governor. It's the governor that is fighting me, because I declared to contest for governor. Before now, I can tell you this same governor, if I have my phone here, I will have shown this same governor have given commendation letter to me that I am the best deputy governor any governor will wish to have, because of my efficiency, transparency, accountability, and how high I'm able to manage whatever I'm giving to. So I am saying that today I'm contesting for governorship is not because Philip just want to contest, but I'm contesting it to take our state back, take our party back, and give practical government. I can roll out all the GDPs and economic growth. How does it reflect on the faces of our people?
Absolutely.
That is what is key, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm coming to bring practical government. I just told you about what we were going to be doing with Ewo flour mill and other cluster of agricultural, and we are bringing in agricultural bank. We're creating the Ministry of Agriculture to bring agriculture, because I am in the system, and I'm seeing certain things that we are doing, but it's slow, and certain things we are doing that I feel we can do better. And you cannot do those things as deputy governor. You can only do them as the man in charge of taking decision. So no matter what an advisor will be given. For instance, I will not be a deputy governor. I will not be a governor that my advisors will be younger than me. All my advisors must be professional, senior to me, that I can listen to. I will not have advisors that are just job for the boys. I'm going to be having special advisors that I will listen to, because they are gurus, they are experts in what they advise, so that taxpayers' money will be earned, not awarded. So there are a lot of these things that I cannot say in public.
All right. A number of things. I hope you have young people, not just older people in your cabinet.
My commissioners was younger than me. Okay. All my commissioners,
my advisors,
my special advisors, must be specialists and senior to me that I can listen to.
All right.
But all my commissioners must be younger than me.
All right. Okay.
To create a new set of people that can take over when we leave.
You said a number of great things with regards to initiatives, and we've had a number of people who are running for election sit on this table and tell us also very great things. But the interesting part is in the detail. I don't want to use the devil is in the detail, but it's in the detail. You want this infrastructure in terms of road. How do you plan to fund it? Because currently, I'm sure you know your debt profile in Edo State, 126 billion naira as at late 2023. How do you, is it by further borrowing? How do you hope to, get funding for this? The reason I'm saying that is because when you look at this man that you refer to as an outsider, some people say that he'll come in with experience, expertise, especially in the boardroom and in successfully managing companies, generating income. And that's what people want to see, the prosperity, taking Edo State from this level to the next level. So what's your advantage in terms of generating income for the state? And also, how do you plan to fund these great initiatives you've talked about? Yeah,
the experience I'm bringing on board, I have private and public sector experience. And these characters are coming with just private sector experience. And there is difference between a private sector driven person and a public sector person. I have both. And that is why we have some issues in this government.
He served in a number of government
let me tell you,
functionaries, so it's important to mention that.
There's a difference between sitting on a board and working in an established organization and growing through the mills. There are two different things. And private sector management is totally, completely different from public sector management. And when they come with that referral of private sector, and when they come in, they want to influence and do things in line with what they do as one-man business. It doesn't work in public sector. It doesn't work in public sector because you must follow, the public sector is governed by laws. Why the public sector, private sector is by convention. So what we are just speaking is we are coming in with an experience to recreate the system. And the only way, you talk about funding, I will not be a governor that will use state government influence to take facility to build a hospitality business. No. I'm bringing private sector. My equity as government will be land and creating an enabling environment, which is infrastructure, rural infrastructure, electricity, sewage. But I will not use government funding to build a ShopRite. For instance, we are building ShopRite. We are investing almost 6 billion of government funding. I will not be that kind of private sector person. I'm going to get people that have interest, that have money. Government only to give guarantee. And my equity will be the land. So if we, as I'm seeing what a private sector person is doing now, 20 billion to build an Radisson Blue. No, I should not take taxpayers' money to build Radisson Blue at this economic downturn. I should get my friends and others that are interested, because we have created, to the government and I and us, we have created an enabling environment that we can have hospitality business boom. So you are going to get your money. So why not come and invest in it, but not using government money, not using government money to build. So my own public, private sector initiative is to get those that are in hospitality business to bring their money in.
For this road infrastructure, because it looks like you have a plan for this road, because you gave us details. How So how much, for instance, is that plan that you have? You know, this road connection you talked about, then how will you get the funding for it?
For instance, we are going to create an economic environment. The agricultural sector will boost our GDP. We are going to open the tax net. I was the chairman of the revenue team in the state. And from 1.7, we were able to grow it to 4. And our target is to grow it to 10 before. From what we did, we just reorganized the tax system, digitalize it, and without actually increasing taxes. So I'm going to open the tax net for us to boost our internally generated. But also, we will take some facility from certain category of people, like the rail line. I'm already working with.
Okay. As we wrap up, how much is that rail line going to cost? That circular rail you want to do?
That is what we're working on. I just told you.
Do you have the cost already?
We have not concluded. But what we've discovered is that for the orange line to come into existence, it will take a minimum of 3 years. And for the Oredo Okwela axis, from our check now, will take a minimum of 7 years. So we are working on all those documents, and we are working at the cost. We're also looking at areas where we can get facility to do that. And we are looking at concession.
How do you hope to fund your campaign? Because to be governor is expensive.
Yeah.
It costs money. This one, do you still have an office?
Yeah.
Do you still get your allowances? Where is the money going to come from?
Yeah. You see, when the people are resolved to achieve a purpose, all my elections, from NANS to House of Assembly, 2-time House of Assembly, House of Representative, and even as Deputy Governor to support Obaseki. It's just like what my father told me. He said, the money you use in building a house, you don't save it. If you want to save the money you use in building a house, you'll never build a house. Just start, and you just start growing.
So you are not concerned that Obaseki as governor, incumbent, and the incumbency factor being a major thing, will discourage people from supporting you.
Yeah, I think
people will keep you at an arm's length.
Yeah, like Ogiadomes, yes, that is true. But for the masses, they will not.
Masses who don't have money.
No, they do. See, where they will spend 10 naira. With my 1 naira, I will get things done. I've done it before. It's not the first time.
Right.
My being a member of House of Representative, I fought against the tide.
All right.
Yes, I fought against the tide.
Thank you so much, Deputy Governor. Philip Shaibu, for coming to the show this morning and just expressing to the people of Edo State and to Nigerians at large your plans and your prospects for Edo State. Thank you.
Thank you very much.